So, this is another fanfiction idea where the plot was, or the crossover itself was kind of voted on by my patrons over on Patreon. And again, as always, if you want to be a part of the Patreon movement, join my Patreon on the link below. Just click the link below. You guys can join for as low as $5 a month. There you'll get posts, and also that's where the reviews are going to be. Like I've been saying, like that's where the Halloween Kills review is going to be. That's where all the movie reviews are going to be. So, yeah. Anyway, and this was voted on by several people, and this is actually going to be doing something. One thing I don't normally talk a lot about, and one thing I've never really talked about at all. And that is Spawn crossing over with Silent Hill. So yeah, a Spawn Silent Hill crossover. So, in this, it was actually like the other ones that were going to be voted on were, the other possibilities were Sam Loomis from Halloween, Batman, Spawn, Junko Inoshima from Danganronpa, Moon Knight, and John Wick. I know some of those, one of these things is not like the other, but but yeah, Spawn won by a tiebreaker. So we're going to do a Spawn Silent Hill crossover. Now, for reference, you're probably wondering where in the hell is... because Spawn is so godlike. Like, obviously Spawn's so powerful, he can just, you know, smash his way through Silent Hill. That would be your initial thought. Well, that's not how Silent Hill works. It is a horror game, but the thing is that Spawn... Silent Hill is more built as a psychological horror. And Spawn... when done right, when done by other people, it basically is, it can be a psychological horror at some points. But yeah, so this story is also set in a time where Spawn isn't as, like, godlike. This isn't like a god Spawn or whatever. This is like Al Simmons and, like, just when he was just skulking around in the shadows of New York's alleyways. You know, when he was living in Bum Alley and whatever. So, this is not a godlike Spawn who's just going to wreck everything. And also, even if he could, I doubt he could, because Silent Hill is completely... it doesn't work like that. You can't just bullhorn your way through Silent Hill. Grinding through that game will tell you that. Anyway, so let's get on with the story. So the story is, in this little tale, Spawn... has been, basically Al's been kind of like reminiscing about his life before he became Spawn, and among that, he's more or less been trying to catch up on, like, try to piece together more of his life, and among that is a army friend of his that he accidentally got killed during a mission. This isn't like, this is obviously before he got, you know, turned into a burnt crisp and made the deal with Malbolgia. And this friend of his had a family, and it's been years, and obviously this is obvious. This kid is older than the child Wanda had, but Spawn looks at it, you know, finds like bits and pieces of it, and finds a photo of it, and is like, you know what, that guy, I got that guy killed, so I'm going to watch over his family, just to, you know, I'm just going to check in. So he goes all the way to New Hampshire and finds that the kid has gone missing. He's found out that the kid's gone missing. The mom doesn't know where he is, where the kid is, and it's believed to be a kidnapping. And Spawn, after the cops leave, investigates the room, and he finds a hidden clue among everything. He finds one little shred of, like, a clue that was like it was drawing it to him. Like, he felt this, like, pull to this one little book. He opens it up, and scrawled in the book is Silent Hill. And he's like, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to find out. So Spawn has to, like, dig through... he has to do something that he's never really had to do before. Dig for information to find out what Silent Hill is. And he finds out from one of the hobos, one of the homeless people in the Bum Alley, was like, Silent Hill is a place that's like an urban myth. Like, I wanted to really play with, like, the idea would be is, like, it's kind of like a urban legend, even though, yeah, what happened was known, but people don't want to think about it. It's like one of those known but unknown things. And they, like, he tells them, like, look, before Silent Hill it became like a town, became a real place. I used to be like a doctor there, but then the whole town went to hell, literally. And he's like, I am, that sounds familiar. And Al's like, that sounds familiar. I'll just go there. And the dude's like, don't go, Al. that's you're all powerful and you take on demons and cyborgs and shit, but like, Silent Hill is not something you're prepared for. And Al's just like, fuck you. I'm Spawn. I am the Alpha and Omega. Have you read my comics? Look at my cape. So Spawn finds, gets the directions from this guy to go to Silent Hill, and when he goes in, to find this kid, he's already immediately like hit with just everything. And here's the thing, is that Spawn does try to fight some of the enemies. He does try to fight them, but like, as he does, he seems like his powers don't seem to have a lot of effect there. It's almost like the city itself, like the town itself, is like, the air itself is like choking him. It's like it's siphoning his power, and now he's like he's now just kind of depending more on his wits. He does have his powers, he does have his chains, but like they're now like limited. Like even when he gets stabbed or something by a creature or some other horror, he feels it and it takes a while. He like has to like slink off, and like it takes a while to heal, and he's like, that doesn't happen. Like even when I'm fighting Violator, like it heals faster than this. So why is it like hurt even more? It's like it feels like I went like 10 rounds with my Bolja. What the hell's going on? So as the story goes on and as Spawn explores more of Silent Hill, the more he's encountering like all of his past sins. And yeah, Spawn encountering his past sins is nothing new, but like here it's like thrown right in his face, whereas Al always seemed like he just seemed like above it and was like, oh, I was a victim of this. He opens a door into a restaurant, and he opens a door and he finds himself in the middle of a war zone, and we find the truth of that guy he accidentally, that guy who got killed. Al left him to die. Al basically was like, they were caught behind enemy lines and they were going to get caught. Al shot him in the leg and left him as he took off, and the enemy forces came, captured that guy, tortured him, and murdered him. And then Al went back to the States and told the guy's family, hey, I'm sorry I tried everything. I feel like I should have done more. All of this and that. So Spawn, it's not just that, the shit he pulled on Wanda. If you're a Spawn reader, you know what I'm talking about. Every sin, horrible sin, again and again, is shown in his face over and over again as he's battling his way through these creatures. And it's one nightmare after the next for Al. Yeah, this would be a deep psychological dive into Al's life. And also, if you're wondering, yes, there would be a fight with Pyramid Head, because of course, if you were going to do a real Spawn Silent Hill crossover, you would have to do a crossover where you'd have to do the Pyramid Head fight. Like that you just don't do that. You need the Pyramid Head fight. Anyway, so at the end of it, Spawn has to finally finds the kid. He brings him back. Like he leaves him there, and then he leaves, but goes back to the alley, and he's just like, he is now just burdened with all of his past sins, and he's like, there was a reason I went there. There was a reason, all of this happened to me. It was like all to me. And he like Spawn again is in typical Al Simmons fashion, is like trying to find a way to like blame it on somebody else. He just can't. He just can't. He is that kind of monster. So there you go, guys. There is my Spawn Silent Hill crossover. You guys tell me in the comments below. What did you guys think of it? Like it, hate it? Just comment below, let me know. Want to thank everyone over on Patreon for voting on this. And it is, once again, if you want to be part of the Patreon videos, just hit the link below. Join my Patreon there. You guys can even, if you hit the 4th tier, you can even you can request a video to do here on YouTube. But other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.